is Halloween. This is Halloween. This is a Halloween escape room game. Today I'm going to be looking at the Pumpkin Problem, an escape room from Grand Gamers Guild, 18 cards. We've looked at quite a few of these already. There will be a link to that playlist down below, and I'll pop it up top right now for you as well. So let me get into what I think of it. Alright, so Pumpkin Problem. If you're unfamiliar with this style of game from Grand Gamers Guild, basically you're going to open it up. It's going to have all the kind of rules you need here. There's going to be a QR code. You are going to scan that QR code, and it's going to take you to a website. On that website, they are then going to basically tell you how to start, and then give you information you may need to solve this, kind of like the NATO alphabet, or NATO phonetic alphabet, the maritime flags, braille, number substitution, etc. So you may need those to solve the puzzles that are inside. It's going to then tell you to start with a card. Those cards are going to pose questions that you have to then deduce the information from the card or cards that are provided to you. You enter the answer into the website. That tells you how to proceed forward. Once you've completed everything, it goes, yay, you've won. Here's your time. Here's how many hints you have. And then here is your ranking out of 5. In this instance, pumpkins. So that is the basics of it without giving away too much, because as I said, an escape room game. So this will be as spoiler free as possible, and once I get into stuff that might be considered spoiler, I will give you a warning. So up front, I will hit what we thought about this one. We enjoyed this one. This one was one that was a little harder for us, even though it's only got a difficulty ranking of 2 out of 3. This is one that we were able to, for the most part, know what we had to do, but not necessarily how to do it or how to get the answer from what we were doing. That may not make sense, but if you played these, you probably know what I mean. This is probably our lowest rated one that we got. We had like 3 out of 5, if I remember right. We took a bit over an hour. We used 11 hints. Because as I said, like, we could figure out, like, all right, we knew what to do on this puzzle, and we did it, but we still couldn't figure out the answer from what we did, so we need to try and get some hints in regards to that. So basically, overall, I will say that we enjoyed this one just as much as we did the other one. So if you've gone back and seen those, or if you've seen them prior to watching this, you'll know that we've enjoyed them. I will say this is probably up there for me with the way that the puzzles worked. I really kind of enjoyed the way that some of these puzzles interacted with other parts of each other's cards and so forth. So if you're looking at for just that type of information, I'm ending it. I'm now going to get into stuff that may be considered spoilery, as in, like, not specifically how to solve the puzzles, but things that may make you start looking one way or the other when solving them. Alright, I'm going to get to that in 3, 2, 1. Alright, so with that being said, for this one, I did notice an increase. This was the 3rd one they did, so I don't remember the exact numbering of the ones that we've done yet. But this one did seem like it had at least couple more cards than we're used to, that you basically had to try and write on the cards, draw on the cards, something to that effect, unless you could get like a really thin piece of paper to put over to make your little diagram thing that you needed. So that one, I did notice that this one was more interactive, of actually having to like mark on the cards or do it that way, as opposed to just writing down some notes and solving it from there. So that was one of the big things that I did notice was different. Outside of that, this one did utilize a lot more cards and had a lot more puzzles going on at one time. We did do this one 3 players. Typically, we don't like the 3-player one because, you know, you're only using the one tablet to enter your answers, so it's kind of hard if you have 3 people working on one puzzle. But this one did have a lot of times where here's 2 or here's 3 puzzles at a time, so we were able to divvy them up. I mean, it did help us time-wise, obviously, because we couldn't still figure it out. But this one did do a better job of spreading out the puzzle, so you could have multiple people working on it at one time, as opposed to just like 1 or 2 people kind of like hunched over trying to figure it out. So that we really did like. This one did still have some of those where sometimes you didn't necessarily need to figure out the puzzle they presented to be able to get the answer, because the thing with these games is the answers a lot of times are thematic to the one you're playing. So with this being a Halloween theme and you're going with a Halloween mindset, that may be able to make you jump to the answer right away, and then therefore you could possibly like stop halfway and be like, yep, I know that answer, and go. I will say there was a couple times I was that way, but the people I was playing with, Brian, the youth, really wanted to solve the puzzle. So I'm like, all right, no, wait until you solve the puzzle. I know the answer. I had the answer ready. They told me the answer. I just pressed submit. So there are still some of those in here that you can just jump to without having to solve the big elaborate puzzle that they have put forth. But it still did not cut down on the fun of this one. This was more thinking. As I said, it's only a 2 out of 3, but this one did seem harder than some of the 3 out of 3s that we've done. Some of those 3 out of 3s, like once we get a hint or two, like for the first card, where we had a hard time like figuring out where we needed to go from it, because a lot of times they'll give you one card, and then everything's on there that you need to solve, and then going forward from there, they give you more cards kind of spread out, and then it's a little bit easier to decipher the puzzle. So a lot of times we need kind of that kickstart at the beginning. This one, we didn't necessarily need it then. We needed it more throughout, as I said, once we figured out, like, oh, all right, so this is what we were supposed to figure out. Looking at it, I still don't figure out exactly how we need to manipulate this to get the answer. That is where we needed the hints. But overall, I will say that this one, again, was definitely enjoyable. I would probably put this up there at the higher ranks of the ones we've done. Really try to remember the ones we've done. I know we've done the endangered species penguins. We've done the marriage mix-up, the birthday burglary, the independence incident. So I believe we've done those 4. So this is the 5th one. I'm thinking I'm going to probably put this at 2nd out of those 5. I'll have to think about it. Once we do all the ones that we have, maybe I'll come out and rank them down in a line. Alrighty, so if you want to be alerted if I ever do that, or when we start doing more of them, because we are entering the season where these will be coming out, because there's a Thanksgiving one, there's a Christmas one, there's a Groundhog one, there's a Valentine's one, so you have all those coming out in the next few months from us. So if you want to be alerted to those, you can go ahead and head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. And then while you're down there, maybe you can even support our new thing that we have going on, our Ko-fi, where you can help support the channel by buying me a drink to toast our victory in the pumpkin problem. Alrighty, so until then, have fun all you ghouls.